Weeding is the part of farming I never enjoyed. Most gardeners don't enjoy it as well. Although with a small garden, there's not much to it. But here's my discovery for weeds. Weeds grow in response to water. So wherever you put water, you're going to have weeds. These other weeds out here grew in response to the rain. I'm leaving those, so I'll get to that. But here, these are growing in response to water. Irrigation line here, left the irrigation line a little long. I got some water all the way out to here. This is my chosen tool for weeding in a small garden. But before I've done this, I watered 2 days ago. I've let the water sink in. I've amended the soil again with this compost on top. Not a lot, just a little. And now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to drag surface and break any of those weeds that are going to get ready to come up here. Just shallow, and it's also incorporating the compost into the growing area. And you can see here and there, I'm pulling up some little sprouts here and there. It's all about timing, so I waited until the soil was dry enough to be able to cut them and have them die. I'm not going to water today, because if I cut them and then water, they'll just grow again. And I'm breaking up that subsoil, that top ½ inch of soil where I'm going to find any weeds getting started there. Don't really have much of a weed issue yet. I like to keep it that way. These things out here aren't necessarily weeds for me. I'm in a dry climate. This is life in dirt, and anything growing helps things grow better. So I leave these weeds. Oh, hey Frank, come on. Later on I'll come through and cut them down, keep them short, but I don't mind if they're here, as long as they're not robbing moisture and being a harborage for insects. This one is my least favorite weed of all. It's nutsedge, and it's horrible. You learn which weed you got. You call them by name. Frank. But it's just a matter of being persistent. I stay with it, I can stay on top of all my weeds. And there's one other thing I was noticing. I was saying I don't prune tomatoes once I do the initial lower prune, but with a cherry tomato, I know this plant will become incredibly large and very hard to manage. So I don't mind taking off a sucker here and there. So like here, here's a flower set here, flower set. Here's a little sucker over here, right here. I'll take these off on occasion. They don't have to go. But this plant will be enormous. So if I do happen to see one here and there, I'll take it off. Frank. Yes, what? He likes to garden. And tomatoes doing great. Squash is coming along. I had some for dinner in a frittata last night. Male blossoms. The beans are blossoming. Melons are starting to stretch out. Looking healthy, looking healthy. A little bit of insect damage, but I put some traps out and got on top of it. And then this area here, I leave plants because plants are better than no plants. I'll cut this all down today so things can venture over into this area. I'll leave the plant matter on the ground to help shade and encourage a soil web of beneficial fungus. Yes, stop. All right. Well, that's this morning's happy gardening. Oh, look at that tomato. Hey, what are you doing? Okay, you done, Frank? Okay, he says we're done.